No, I agree completely. I think everybody should eat everything in moderation.
Exactly.
I think taking any major league food group out of your life for any length of time is a mistake.
I know. I agree.
That's why we get along so well.
Yeah.
Boom!
Bam.
Good morning. It's morning.
Yeah.
We're doing a recording in the morning on a Saturday. Welcome to a Saturday edition of
Living Well Together.
Big Life in a Small Town.
Yeah, we're so happy to be here this morning. Every day you wake up and it's like, it's a good day.
Yeah. And if you believe that.
Well, you have to start out that way. Can you
We're just
imagine?
like everybody else. Sometimes you wake up thinking it's a good day. Sometimes you didn't have the sleep you wanted and you think to yourself, it's not as good a day as I wish it was. Or
It's true.
you carry some trash to bed with you the night before and you think, didn't sleep as well, whatever. But yeah, today, super good day. Woke up early.
Yes, I was going to say, why don't you chat about what you did this morning?
I don't know. I couldn't sleep past, and on the weekends, I like to not set my alarm, right? Usually my alarm's a 5 o'clock alarm and through the week, and I get up and do my writing and so on. And today, or on the weekends, I sometimes will not set an alarm. I'll just say, sleep as long as you want to sleep. And today it was 6:30.
That's pretty good. I mean, considering that you're always up at 5. Yeah.
But 6:30 is when I'm like, okay, my brain is whirring. I got to get up and get things going. I had, I did some journal stuff, but when I got up, the outside temperature was such that the windows, like the big sliding glass doors in the kitchen, were all condensed from the outside.
Yeah.
And they always are when the temperature is different. The house is cooler on the inside, the humidity and the heater on the outside. So those big windows will condense and you look outside and it's just fog or whatever. You can't see out. But here in the office, I had found a squeegee that I had purchased whenever ago, 100 years ago. And
that's a great word, isn't it? Squeegee.
Squeegee. Some sort of squeegee. And so I had taken it home thinking, oh, you know what? I'm going to use this on those windows one of these days. And today was that day.
It's so amazing to watch, too. It's like magic.
It's an art form.
Yeah.
But it's not as easy as the guys who are good at it make it look, right?
Okay.
Like you kind of feel a little like Jerry Lewis on the front end of it, trying to get it to do the right thing. But yes, I squeegeed the sliding glass doors today to get the water off. And
it's a noticeable difference.
Fabulous. So fabulous. And I did that while my coffee was brewing and then did some journal stuff. But I had also downloaded an app. I don't get any money for this, right? They're not sponsoring me, but it's called Better Me, and it's a 28-day calisthenics workout. And each workout is only like 12 to 13 minutes long, maybe 14 minutes long.
Which is perfect.
And it's, so it's on your phone, and they're telling you and showing you, do this for this gap of time. And so today is I downloaded it the other day, and today is the day that I began. But I had previewed the first one. You got to watch them in sequence to unlock them, apparently, on the app. So I had I had looked at it yesterday after I'd already done my workout. I opened up the app and clicked on day one, and I thought, oh, that looks pretty easy, like it's not going to be much. And so then today I thought, all right, I had unlocked day 2, so I can do now day 2, but I hadn't actually done day 1. I had just watched it. So I thought, all right, I'm going to do both day 1 and day 2. So I took my little yoga mat outside on the deck instead of working out in the basement, which is where I will usually do my workout. So I worked out in the great outdoors.
And I peeked out there at him.
And I did. Oh, did you?
You were doing your little lunges.
Ah.
Did you have your weights out there too?
No. Okay. No, this is all body weight stuff, which made me feel like, oh, this isn't going to be, a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, trust me when I tell you, it was a bigger deal than I thought.
He was sweating.
It was hot.
Yeah. Is it because you were outside? Do you think that made it
worse?
worse?
The humidity maybe, but I mean, it's work.
Yeah.
It was forcing me to do things that I don't normally do. Some of them involve balance. Some of them involve stretching. Most of them involve some degree of strength training, but just with your body weight.
Right.
And you would think, well, you watch people do that, and it's like, well, how hard could that possibly be? Well, the answer is hard.
Yeah.
Or than you think, harder than you think.
Right.
So, yeah, I got that out of the way.
Yeah.
In the great outdoors. And then by that time, you were up and at 'em.
Yeah. And we knew that we were popping over here today.
Right. It's a Saturday podcast day.
And then you decided to get dressed before we left.
Yeah.
Because we were wondering what we were going to chat about today.
Well, yeah, today was one of those days where it's going to be a kind of a shooting from the hip day. But as I'm rummaging through my closet, I found this shirt.
It looks good on him, doesn't it?
Well, it's looked good on me for over 20 years.
So then
It was like tucked back on a hanger that had gotten rocked back. You know how it was embarrassingly enough. I hadn't seen it for a while, but I found this shirt today.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my heck. And then all these memories start flooding my brain. Like, when did I get this shirt? The kids were little. It was at least 20 years ago I bought this shirt.
Yeah.
But I always think of it as my Richie Cunningham shirt.
And for those who don't know who Richie Cunningham is.
If you go on to, where do you find like live stream? Where would you live stream Happy Days? Or you would go back into Amazon or...
You could probably find it on YouTube or you could find
or whatever.
it. Yeah.
In the 70s, there was a show called Happy Days. And it was about growing up in
good.
the
A little
50s. Just a sitcom.
Yep.
Super simple, very wholesome, as I remember.
Very wholesome. It was awesome.
There were different characters in the show, but they seemed to dress in clothes like these.
Well, it was that era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you call this?
Plaid?
Plaid? Is it plaid? What is madras? Is there a thing called madras?
Yeah. I guess it could be madras too.
I don't know.
Madras is
I don't
plaid.
know. But it made me, so I felt a little bit nostalgic about it. And then I thought, why do I still have that shirt?
Because it still fits you and it looks good and it's not like it's frayed or coming apart in any way.
No, you're right. All those things are true.
Yeah.
But when I think about holding on to things for a minimum, it may be older than that.
Yeah.
But it's at least 20 years old.
Yeah, I'd have to go back through photos.
I'm sure we could go through and see photos of our children in diapers with me wearing this shirt.
I don't know about that. Because do you remember where you got it? Where did you
I want to say it might be Old Navy or something like that.
Do you want me to
Gap. It might be the Gap. I don't know.
Want me to check your tag?
I don't want you to check my tag because I don't want to know. I don't want to ruin anything. Yeah. So anyway, so we were talking about what are we going to talk about today?
Right.
And I think you already had something in your mind. But for me, I wanted to talk about letting things go. Just like why do I still have, and this is not the only piece of clothing I have that's probably at least that old.
But I also, between the two of us, there's good things about that. The fact that we can still fit in clothes
the fact
that
that
we
it still
had
fits is a
20
gift.
or 25 years ago.
100% true.
And the fact that it's not like, part of me thinks it's a good thing because we're not adding to the landfill. Usually we take our things to Goodwill.
Somebody else would enjoy it.
But you're enjoying it.
I am today.
Yeah.
I think today's the last day.
Today's the last day. Well, then you can talk about the decluttering and being more of a minimalist.
Well, and that's exactly where I kind of wanted us to go today.
Yeah.
Because there are like several categories of things that probably we would all benefit from letting go of for a variety of reasons.
Right.
Not because they're detrimental. There's nothing detrimental to me about having this shirt. But what this shirt represents to me, at least mentally or emotionally, is sometimes beneficial. Like you said, it still fits. It's in good condition. We take care of our things, whether we spend a lot of money on them or a little bit. I'm sure this was not an expensive shirt.
No, we don't buy expensive
because we did 25 years ago, we didn't have much money.
But
either, right?
It didn't matter to me how much money we had. It's like if you can get the same type of clothes for less money, then that would be my choice every time.
100% true.
Yeah.
But the other side of that is like, why do I still have it?
Yeah.
And it's not what you would consider contemporary dress, fashion.
You still kind of buy plaid things. It's not your only plaid thing.
No, I have flannel shirts that are plaid.
Yeah. But I do like I can see your fashion shift, and I do prefer those patterns that you've been getting lately.
As opposed to this?
I've never been much of a plaid girl, but you look good in everything that you have. So
thank you. You're making up for lost ground there.
And as long as it makes you feel confident and handsome, and like you got
Richie
it going
Cunningham-ish.
on. Yeah,
we'll put up a picture of Richie Cunningham. I actually sent him to Graham earlier today, just so that our younger viewers may know what we're referring to.
But I think the challenge comes when we don't let things go and keep piling things in. Like when you think about a closet, they're not usually gigantic. There's a limited amount of space. I think The challenge comes when we just keep adding instead of letting go.
Right.
You know, that's when the mental clarity can get really foggy.
Well, and that's
with
exactly
those
what I wanted
layers.
to talk about.
Yeah.
Is the closet is basically a representation of your mind or your
brain.
heart
Yeah.
or your brain. Because this was jammed in. Like I haven't seen this in there.
Because you have so many things in there? Is that what you mean?
There were too many things jammed in around it, and it was skewed, right? It wasn't hanging straight
Like
or
your other
whatever.
ones,
But
yeah.
and it was kind of in the darker corner of the closet.
Yeah.
But I was looking through at some of the things that I was going to maybe wear today, and this one was like, what?
Yeah.
Where you been?
So for those of you that don't know this, he has his very own closet, and I just have my clothes in a different space.
We did. Yeah, we covered that. We should.
I have a closet
probably
room,
just
but so I have a little bit more space. But actually, when you think the square footage is bigger, but the space for clothes is smaller because I only have. Think about this, okay?
I'm not thinking about this.
Well, because I only have where the mirror doors are that open.
I understand.
Yeah,
I've been in there.
I know. So
it used to be a bedroom, and now it's a closet.
Right,
I know.
I know. Yeah. Okay. For my hanging clothes. All right.
I
brought it up.
Closet.
I shouldn't have
She has
said
an
anything.
actual bedroom closet. Yeah.
Okay. So
this
anyways,
can of worms should be closed.
So, but I find that I have to be much more diligent about letting things go, not buying unless I'm ready to let something go.
And I learned today that I need to be
right.
that.
Exactly.
Right. Because this was a prime example of, wait a minute, why do you still have that? Because you've added. It's not that I haven't accumulated other things. I have. And there are too many things in that space. Yeah. And so today you will see this today. Probably never again. Now you may see somebody in my town wearing it. You may see somebody in the next town over wearing it because it will go into the donor pile today. But
so if somebody wants to claim it before we
if you want to
head over there, it's I'll take that shirt.
I will launder it and drop ship it.
And he might even sign it.
Yeah. Perhaps. But today is the last day you'll see me wearing this shirt.
So do you feel like, too, when it comes to letting go of things, it doesn't have to be just clothing or physical things, too? Sometimes
I'm sure we could go through the garage and find things that we have that we don't need or have that we don't use anymore. Every room in the house probably has that. And not just for me. I don't mean just for me. I'm talking, it's an us. It's
right.
a we.
No, it is. But I'm talking more about letting go of bad habits, like when it comes to health and wellness.
Yes.
Yeah. So
100%.
shifting that.
Well,
I
said, I think the closet is a representation sometimes of my brain. When my brain is overloaded and overpacked is when I don't sleep very well. It changes my physiology in other ways. It makes it easy to skip my workout and just kind of keep sleeping. It makes it easy to be careless with my food intake. Like processed trash will go into the system because it's convenient, it's easy, it's quick. And even though it's not best. So, what's best is to download and discard the things that are either no longer serving you, whether it's clothing or whether it's other things in your home or your space, or whether it is emotional and mental things. If it's not serving me anymore, why am I hanging on to it becomes the question.
Right, because letting go of excess of any kind, whatever that looks like, is just going to lead to a more balanced, more fulfilled life.
100%.
Yeah.
I saw this thing about this tribe of people in Mongolia. This was years ago on like some documentary thing. And they live in...
Is this a Clavinism?
No. Okay. Oh, never mind.
No, go ahead, babe.
Well,
no, I love all your little tidbits and facts.
It's this barren, desolate, flat, cold, barren land. And they live in yurts.
Which are very fun to stay in if you've never stayed in it.
Tent.
Portable.
That they can break down and move because they had horses. And you could tell the wealth of the people in the tribe by the number of horses that they managed.
Okay.
But they didn't have fences. There was no fence. The horses just knew that they needed the people, and the people knew that they needed the horses. So the horses wouldn't run away because there was nowhere to go. It was just miles of desolation. And so they would build this little yurt thing. And it would get wicked cold. So there were layers of wool blankets and layers of stuff. And then they would pick it up and move it when they had grazed out that area. So the horses had no more grazing space. They would move their home miles away so that the horses had fresh grazing space and they had fresh wood and so forth. But that meant everything that they owned had to A, fit in that little circular space, and B, be very portable on the go.
Yeah.
At a moment's notice, really, they would be able to say, let's get out of here. We're going to move over to the next space. There's no way we could do that.
No. What I was thinking is, like, we've lived in the house that we're in now for what, like 25 years.
Yeah.
And if we and we like it that way. Like, we are happy to be in one space for a long time.
I plan on not leaving that space.
And yeah, like, we're not very mobile as far as that goes.
No, we could be. I mean, if we had to move, a grab and go situation.
But thinking about packing up all that stuff that's in our home now.
Nightmarish.
And that's why I feel like I'm very thankful that we have been good about letting stuff go. And Jenny, if you guys need an organizer or somebody that can help you work through things, we have the perfect girl for the job, because she really helped us to take things down to more of a minimalistic life.
Sure.
Yeah.
With our stuff, right?
With our stuff.
And so whether it's stuff or whether it's thoughts and beliefs, the question is what I'm currently holding on to serving me in a way that's appropriate for my best life?
Right.
And if it isn't, then the question is, do I need to replace it or just discard it or donate it?
Yeah.
And if I donate it, do I need to put something else in its place, or can I leave that space and kind of just see how it goes without?
Right.
And like I said, that goes for belief systems and emotional things as well.
I had a body code session with one of our body code practitioners, Allie. She's amazing. And this was on Wednesday. And oh my gosh, I had a lot of stuff that was stuck and that I was holding on to. I was going to bring up my notes and see if there was anything in particular. But immediately after that, it was the craziest thing. These body code sessions are on the phone usually. And so we're just talking through some things, and she's going through the program that we use for that, for those sessions. And as she's going through, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. She's just nailing all of these things that are just trapped and that are creating a lot of chaos in my life. And then as soon as the session was over, she had released all those for me. And I opened up my eyes and everything looked so bright and sparkly. It was like just that release. And we worked for an hour, and the list was kind of long for me, but it was just amazing to have that sense of, just a fresh awakening almost.
Yes.
And that feeling. And I felt so much more, like productive throughout the rest of the day. Like I just had a lot of freedom. I felt lighter, and there was freedom, and the thoughts were flowing, and I was connecting the dots with a lot of the issues that I was having. And so it was incredible.
It's about getting your creativity back and your energy level back.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's important for the body code stuff, and you can do a search online, I suppose, about what is
or
the body
livingwelllife.com.
Livingwelllife.com. That's really about letting God take care of stuff that you can't take care of. In other words, if we could dump that baggage on our own, we'd have dumped it already.
Exactly.
And so this is about locating, identifying, and releasing things that only God knows how to do. And so these practitioners that we're connected to are wonderful in that regard. And I've had very similar experiences and I was this was out at Aileron. And I was doing a sesh with who's the guy out west?
Josh.
In my car. I was in my car. And so, but it was out in the kind of the country, and I was watching buzzards circle as we were doing the call.
Around you?
No. Out in the distance, over the woods. I forgot about this till you just said that. Buzzards were circling, and he and I were doing a session, and once it was over, I watched those buzzards fly away. It was the wildest thing. I'll tell you about the details of it later, because it involves some people that we know pretty.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Well, my trapped emotions were stubbornness, lost, frantic, and anxiety with a will to decline, but decline things. We did figure out we kind of, surrounded by many things and not knowing where to start with stuff. It created a misalignment of my nervous system.
Which we worked on clearing yesterday as well.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that was huge. I was having some sinus issues, and that went away. Yeah, just all these, and it also brought up some things about dehydration, the water utilization in me. With those things were even, those emotions were even related to my physical health that way too.
I think everybody underestimates the impact of mental and emotional things on their physical body, on their physical well-being.
Yeah.
Thoughts are things, and they do create change in physiology. We could think about something right now and probably produce tears.
Right.
Right.
Or
so
laughter.
Things.
Or
it goes both ways.
Hunger.
And I think the other thing that, as far as trapped emotions or baggage that I want to donate or discard, not even through the emotion code or the body code, but if I want to get rid of things, I think the biggest emotion to supplant is forgiveness. Because a lot of times the emotional stuff that we're hanging on to has to do with somebody else who's hurt us or harmed us, or in some way we perceive some kind of injury mentally and emotionally. And learning how to forgive and letting God kind of do the work there again, I think is super smart.
Right. Oh, for sure. And also letting go, when it goes back to the letting go portion of this, just letting go of toxic relationships.
Right.
And any negative influences in your life that actually drain the emotional energy. And this can definitely lead to a healthier
people, places, or things.
Supportive connection.
All nouns have the capacity for either blocking or promoting the flow of goodness into your world. And if we're hanging on to things or hanging on to people or hanging on to situations because we're afraid of what would happen if we let go,
right,
it is usually a block that's keeping you from achieving your better self and becoming a better contributor to society and the universe and all that comes with it.
Yeah.
But I love this shirt. I have enjoyed this shirt for so long, but today it was this super trigger for me to say, I got some stuff that A, I don't need anymore. B, somebody else will benefit from the things I don't need. I'll donate some, and there's a stack. Trust me, there's a whole pile of things that I know somebody else will be glad to have and appreciate. And it also then creates this vacuum of space where now the universe or God can push other things, not things, but other opportunities into my world that would not be available when I've got this big cluttery closet of a mind. And so creativity comes back and energy level goes up. And then you get out on your yoga mat and you do your
you do your thing.
Your stretching mat. It's not a yoga mat. It's just a place where you can be comfortable instead of the concrete.
Right.
But ultimately, you can be more focused on doing the things that actually energize you and refresh you and strengthen you as opposed to the things that are just sucking energy out and making it easier to stay on the couch.
For sure. So we hit physical letting go, emotional letting go. Spiritual letting go involves, for me, giving up what I perceive as control. So letting God step into his role as being the creator and the abundance provider, or the source of where all blessings come from.
Absolutely.
So, but I just have this thing in my brain that if I'm not in control, then nobody's in control. And that's something that I need to let go of on a daily basis.
And as you're saying that, I get this image in my mind of I'm driving this big van full of crap. And he's in the passenger seat. And he's like, bro, why don't you let me take the wheel? Why don't we trade seats? And then I don't need a van full of garbage. I can have a nice, small, quick little sporty something or other that he can drive. I can just ride around and enjoy. It doesn't have to be full of garbage.
I just had a recent experience about driving around in I was thinking about how convertibles, how they are, like, you can't keep anything in a convertible, basically. It just flies.
Well, there's no point in locking a convertible.
No,
if you're
it's not yours.
Shopping or whatever, anybody who wants in gets in. All you need is a knife.
So by trusting in the higher power, we're embracing uncertainty and finding peace in the present moment. I think that wraps that part up wonderfully, but also detaching from outcomes. Don't you find that in our own minds that we, as we're planning our life and setting goals, that we can become attached to the outcomes?
100%. And that, we are goal setting people.
We are.
We like to achieve certain things and set our minds on certain things. And sometimes, the goal might be up here and we may be starting down here and we expect this meteoric rise because we're doing so many things right. And sometimes it's not that, it's this to get.
Usually that is what it is, right?
So,
So focusing on the journey and being happy about that.
Yep. and being glad, just being glad.
So our business coaches have been so helpful. And for me personally, as far as being attached to outcomes, because their thing is that if it's not following the steps and processes that you are anticipating, just knowing that God is there protecting and prospering
Right.
and profiting us in the journey.
We know who's driving the bus.
Yeah.
Makes it easy.
Yeah.
We can talk about this for days.
I
The
know.
other thing is coaching. You know, I think it's fascinating because I didn't want to coach. I did
I
not
know.
want to coach.
We love our business
because,
coaches.
well, at the end of the day, which I probably should stop saying.
Yeah. That's
You know,
the only
you'll
time that I thought
yourself
about having a drinking game.
will take you only so far, and then accessing coaching, whether it's business coaching, personal growth coaching, golf coaching, whatever. Like everybody, you know, professional sports teams all have a coach.
Right, exactly.
And professional golfers all have a coach because they want to achieve what they're capable of through the most, you know, efficient means and the best information. So yeah, I didn't want to be coached. I didn't. In fact, there are times where I'm not very coachable. But I find the more junk I get out of my closets, the more coachable I become.
Yeah.
And the better version of myself I get to bring to the table every day. So yeah, coaching is a fascinating thing.
Yeah. Wait, don't you feel like you coach people every day in
All
their
day,
health?
every day.
Because, you know, that's
Exactly what I do every day. And I love it. And so yeah, I just feel blessed to be, you know, participating in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's when we help people find a better way for better health outcomes. That's definitely what it is.
All right.
And then as far as that spiritual renewal of letting go of old beliefs and rigid thought patterns, it can open to new spiritual insights and deeper connection to our Creator too.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Good one, babe.
well,
Letting go.
Our call to action today, aside from hit the subscribe button, right? Our
Like
call
and
to
follow,
action
yes.
today is
Like
step
and
into
follow.
your closet, look at your closet, and see what you don't need anymore. And by closet, I mean closet, but I also mean in your heart and your mind and your relationships. What don't you need anymore? What is not serving you to be your highest, best self? And do a clean out. It's Saturday for us. I don't know when we'll hear this or when you'll hear
doesn't
this.
even matter.
But take some free time in the very near future and say, what do I got to do to get my act together and clean some things up? Should be kind of a fun way to spend some time.
Yeah, we'd love for you to comment on that and see what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And like and share. Follow
Smash the
always,
subscribe
subscribe. But we'll catch you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Happy Saturday.
Bye.
You got a little glisten?
It's probably my Luminous.
You are luminous.
Yeah. Yeah,
right.
it's my favorite. It's my favorite crunchy skincare product, Luminous.
Ah.
Yeah, for sure.
Also known as slippery seal.
No glazed donut. I prefer. Slippery seal.